Hello Libra, it is Rebecca, Empathic Crow. I am laughing because there was some weird animal noise outside that got me tickled, so please excuse me. This is a general collective reading for Libra for the month of February through possibly the end of, or through the end of March. I'm hoping to get them out soon, but we'll see. But they're all timeless. I give the intention that it gets to whoever needs it when they need it. So even if you see this a year from now or months from now, it doesn't mean that it's not necessarily for you. If the themes that I list are something that interests you and the reading resonates, then the messages could be for you. But take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I do have private reads available, and you can find the booking calendar, the openings that I have on my website, empathiccrow1111.com. With that said, thank you for being here. And Libra, let's get into what your energy is. It's been interesting so far with the other zodiac signs, and this could be for any placements that you have for Libra. So Libra, where are we starting out? God, angels, guides, and ancestors. Where are we starting out? We're starting out with the Fool. We're starting at the beginning. So Libra, I feel like for you, this is saying that you're trying to find balance in a new journey. Like we have the dog here, so the loyal companion. We've got the bag here, and I can't remember whose reading had the Fool, and I was saying very similar things. But if I remember when I'm reviewing them and uploading them, I will try to remember to tag that sign's reading in here in case it's something that could be helpful to you. You can watch, of course, your sun sign, moon sign, rising, or any other signs that you feel are pertinent because maybe they have more information for you. But again, we've got this sun, the new beginning, the Fool's journey. You're taking that first step. It can be a little scary, and he only has this little tiny bag. But at the same time, he is somewhat prepared, even though he is more whimsical and has the flower in his hand or her hand, however you want to read, because gender is not something that we have to focus on in the tarot. But either way, there's some preparedness and some not. And I feel like sometimes it's really hard, especially for Libra signs, to be able to get out of that weighing the options, like making the decision. So this is encouraging you, I believe, to allow yourself to make a decision. So we've got the Two of Cups jumping out after that. And with this Two of Cups, let me see what's coming through. Today I've been reading the cards as they come out. Sometimes I read them after they've come. I am an intuitive reader. So even though I have a knowledge and training in the cards and their meanings and everything, I read the energy and what I'm seeing in the moment. So it may be different for each. So the thing that's standing out to me the most is this lion and the angel wings. Why is that standing out to me? Because I feel like you're being called to have courage in what you're doing. So with even these snakes going up in the middle, snakes sometimes people can be weary of. You know, snakes can be poisonous. At the same time, this also can represent like the medical symbol that I cannot remember the name for right now. So it could be something harmful. It could be something healing. And I feel like that just goes back to that difficulty sometimes with making decisions, because what if it's something that's harmful? What if it's not? And so this is being able to look at, that's interesting, the choices that you have, especially in regard to other people. What I say is interesting is I'm looking at their faces, and especially this one over here in the yellow and black polka dotted tunic. There's like a lack of trust there. The person also is a bit taller, and so they are looking down a little bit. So I feel like there's part of you that for some reason, and I'm not saying that it's a concern, but I feel like you feel like it's a concern. There's something with this choice, this option that you're weighing where you're just not sure about it. And so I feel like this card is saying, you know, check your emotions, you know, cups and emotions, and try to decide, are you reading into the words, the facial expressions? Are you reading into the things because of emotional imprints from the past, or worries about things that might happen? Or is this actually what's going on? So this is about using your discernment and intuition and being able to decide if this is good for you or not. We'll see if more comes through. We got the Knight of Swords. I can't remember who has had that already, but I feel like this is saying, you know, you can think about it all day long. You know, you can clarify what it is that you want. You can clarify what you don't want. You can think about the possible things that could happen. Because I'm seeing in this card, we've got kind of, again, this energy of the cliff with the Fool. Like there's not a lot going on around it. And then we also have this ledge right here that looks very similar to the Fool. So I feel like, again, this is saying you can sit and think about it all day long, but at some point you got to take action. You got to take action on your thoughts. So don't overthink this too much, because you're being called to decide. You're being called to decide. I'm hearing, shoot, what was his name? Billy Idol singing Rebel Yell. With a rebel yell. So I feel like this is, you don't have to go into it with a battle call, but this is you just making that choice to move forward. But it may feel to you like you're just like throwing caution to the wind. But again, that's why the swords are here. It's saying you've thought about it, you are ready to communicate it, and you don't have to like yell it out, but you got to say it. Like there's a lot of blue in here, throat chakra. You have to make the decision. You got to make the decision and stand by it. So I see this blue again now. Yeah, look. Blue tunic, blue sash or something. We got blue around the edges, like blue accents, we'll say. Like you're being called to make a decision and to go with it. Like Libra, you're being asked to stop trying to just weigh out all the possible consequences and make a decision. I mean, the Fool energy in itself, I feel like would make any Libra uncomfortable. You want me to what? With very little planning and do what? So what else for Libra? We're being called, Libra's being called to take action, but what else? If you don't take action, you may miss out on some of these connections and things that could be really helpful to you. I'm seeing networking. So for this card, what I'm seeing is like even somebody like going around like meeting people and shaking hands. That's the vision that's coming into my mind. Like you could miss out on connections because of that. Yeah, that makes sense. Duh, Two of Cups. Missing out on connections because of the fear of what if it's not good? What if it ends up, like I said, the snakes could be good, could be bad. What if it ends up being something that's not good for me? And again, here we have the blue sash, like trying to decide if it's good or not. And one of the things that I'm noticing here, and I saw this earlier but didn't mention it for the other sign that had this card. This person's staring forward. This person's looking off to the side. Although I think with that reading, it was Leo. And I talked about the lion and Leo. So maybe Leo would be a good video for you to watch. But I feel like it's leading into or leaning toward what I was saying of that not necessarily trusting the connections. So you want to have an open mind and be paying attention to your intuition and the signs and things like that. Like signs as in what people do, the patterns, the behavioral aspects, things like that. But you can't just get stuck on that, because sometimes people say and do things that they may not mean the way we interpret them, but you don't want to get stuck in that. Is it okay or not? Like, this is you cutting through some of the doubts and just communicating and figuring out what's actually going on. Like, you don't want to stay stuck just because you're not sure. Anything else for, that's too many. Yeah, that's too many. If it's meant to come out, I will. Anything else for Libra from the tarot? We're going to try again a little bit more. Your reading's going pretty quick. like the cards are wanting to come out, but then they're wanting to come out like a whole bunch at one time. So we're just going to go with this. All right. Yeah. So we've got the Strength card that would have been the card at the very bottom. So I'll consider that the first. So again, yes, you may want to watch Leo's reading. But with this, that lion, like she's sticking her hand into the lion's mouth. My understanding recollection is to help the lion, but she's not seeming to even be bothered or worrying that the lion's going to bite her. And the lion could bite her, but the lion is accepting the help. So just like you don't have to do things with a lion's roar, and you don't have to go into it like it's a battle, like a battle call, rebel yell. You don't have to go into it like it's a battle. So you don't have to fully trust, but at the same time, you don't have to worry that the worst case scenario is going to happen. It's about balance and knowing that you have strength because of the things you've been through. And it kind of stinks that that's how it works, but because you have been through these things and you have survived them, you have this infinite strength within you. And it's just being able to balance with this red and the green of the garland that's around her, that heart chakra, not allowing it to be too open, and then the red of the root chakra being grounded. And having confidence with that yellow. You've got a lot of yellow in here and multiple references to either Leo or the Leo read. So I feel like Libra, you're being asked to step into more of that confident Leo energy. Because we got the Hermit next. And so sometimes we may want to shut ourselves off, especially when we're not sure if we can trust people. And that was part of Taurus's reading. I can't believe I'm remembering some of these. I think that was Taurus. I believe so. But anyway, notice that this cloaked figure, there's a light and there's actually a star in the lantern. And so with that, again, you can't you can try to close yourself off and like cloak yourself, but you're being called to be visible, to be seen, and to engage with other people, to come out of that hermit mode. 1222 when I looked up. But at the same time, it's going to be scary. Notice that the mountains in both of these cards look very similar. But there's a difference in the Fool just taking the leap of faith and the journey, whereas the Hermit's like, I'm not sure. I've kind of walked this path a little bit, and some of it's not good. Some of it's a little treacherous. And that's true. Like even in the Strength card, you've got a mountain back here in the background. But she's not worried about that mountain. You're coming through it. Excuse me. We got the Ten of Wands. You don't have to carry around all the things that have happened. You don't have to like use each wand. I'm seeing like the scales and you're like putting the wands on there. Well, this was good, but this was bad, and this was good, and this is bad, and trying to balance out what that means for you. It's understanding again that you've been through a lot of things and they've impacted you one way or another, but they also have created strength and the ability to recognize different things and to get through the things that you need to on your journey. Like this person isn't even able to see what's right in front of them because they're holding on to the Ten of Wands so much. You can't carry around the weight of the past to the point that it affects your future or the present that much. We got the Page of Pentacles. And I noticed that he's got a lot of green on his tunic, and the mountains are in the background, and we've got this grass right here. So this is pulling that Strength card in, and instead of having our heads buried in the wand, and there's this beautiful blue sky, but you're not even seeing it, there's this hope. I feel like this Page of Pentacles is bringing in a hope, that optimism within you that we've seen even in the first card with the Fool. And he's got the red on his head. Like there is a root chakra grounding aspect, but it's like pulling yourself out of your head. I feel like it feels like weighted. Like I'm feeling like if somebody was to put like a pillow or a weighted blanket on your head, so it's not like super heavy, but at the same time, it's kind of like pulling you back down. I feel like that's trying to get you out of your thoughts, saying that you can think through something until you can't think through it anymore. But at some point, you've got to focus on the possibility and the potential and allow yourself to calm those thoughts, to not overthink everything, to pull it back down. All right, so we are going to move on to this Love Oracle card deck, I got this off of Amazon, so it doesn't have a specific creator name on it. Not that all card decks on Amazon don't have specific creators. But anyway, while it does say Love Oracle, I use it for various things because it does have like a focus and then some of the things that may come along with it. So for you, Libra, I feel like, what is keeping Libra stuck? I haven't used that question, but I feel like that's what we need to look at. What is keeping Libra stuck? Ooh, we'll take that one. Anything else? Okay. So the first one was confusion. I can't make this stuff up. Uncertain, unclear, unsure. So you're getting stuck in that just staring. I'm seeing the Three of Wands card, which did not come up in your reading, but it has come up in a couple of readings. And while this isn't typically the meaning, in both of those readings, I was seeing it as like looking out and there's possibilities, but you're just so stuck you can't move. And I feel like that's what this confusion card is bringing in for me. Like, there's the water here and there's a beautiful sunset, and you have these opportunities, the full card that we started out with that also has the sun in it, but it's hard to move because of the confusion, not being sure of the outcome, and you can't be sure of the outcome all the time. Also, influences, attachments, third parties, and peers. If you're so worried about what other people think or what they're doing, it's going to be hard to move. And look, we've got the cliff again in this card, but it's a very different energy. And so this person is saying, regardless of what other people think, they may even think that I'm a fool, I am taking this journey. Whereas this says, well, there's a lot of people that may feel like I'm being foolish or may not support me or whatever. And it's saying you've got to come out of that energy because that's adding to the confusion and it's not helping you. You've got to focus on what it is that you want. We'll see if there's anything else before we move on to the Inner Child Oracle. And that is by Amanda Lynn Elsling. Past life, deja vu, repeated patterns, karmic lessons. So some of these things may feel familiar, whether in this life or another, depending on what you believe, but it's understanding that just because something feels familiar, just because something feels similar or feels off, doesn't mean that it is. You have the ability to use your discernment and your intuition. It's just you can't, if you get stuck, you just stay, you remain in whatever space, whether it's helpful or not, that you're already in. And sometimes that feels comfortable because it's familiar, but it doesn't mean that it's helpful. So what does Libra need to move forward? What does Libra need to refocus? This came out almost as emphatically in another reading. I can't remember which one it was. 5, which is change. Be true to who you are. Fear will not stop you from shining. So we have that horse, with these butterfly wings. Hopefully you can see it. There is some darkness in there, but there's also a light and some color, some playfulness. So it's allowing yourself, even when times feel uncertain, even when it feels a bit dark, to know that you have the ability to just be yourself and that you are, I heard, master of your destiny. Like, you get to choose, Libra, but you can't just keep watching the scale go back and forth, weighing those wands of the past to see where you go. Dang it. The cards just want to go on the floor. All right. Okay. 33, which breaks down to a 6. Speak to yourself with kindness. Become aware of how you speak to yourself. Watch your words there, Libra. Watch your words. Know that balance comes from saying not only things that you feel like are true and maybe harsh, but also from saying things that are true and are good about yourself. Just because things haven't always worked out the way you wanted, or you feel like you made a decision that wasn't helpful, doesn't mean that you can't be kind to yourself, and doesn't mean that you can't shine bright. This is a time of transition. We got another butterfly, just like we had in the be true to who you are. Be true to who you are and speak to yourself with kindness. So Libra, we're going to let it go there because that's the message. And if you've watched this far, I appreciate you watching. I hope that it was helpful. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You can always go back to some of the signs that I mentioned with cards that were similar or messages that were similar, but you don't have to. And if you'd like to explore some of this and how it affects your own personal journey or something completely different, I do have private reads that are open, and you can go to my website to see what's available for booking. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, because I do love hearing in the comments how this resonated, or if it triggered a memory or something for you, or just even a hello. Thank you so much, Libra. Take care, and I will see you again with the next one.